Hi, I'm Congressman Steve King, representing Iowa's 4th Congressional District, and we are in the middle of this health care debate here in the House of Representatives this week. It's coming to a head tonight on a rule vote, or else tomorrow, and then again tomorrow we think is be a final vote on the package as it comes to the floor. I think many of you will know that I introduced, or in fact drafted, the very first full repeal of Obamacare. I wrote that in the middle of the night on March 23rd, 2010. I did that because I couldn't sleep. It troubled me so much that this Obamacare legislation had passed into law. And I have said time after time again, I want to rip it out by the roots. I want to make sure that there's not one vestige of it left behind. And I had a pretty good promise late last year that we would get a full repeal here to the floor of the House and send it over to the Senate with an expectation that it would be signed into law. Some of that has moved, and some of it's moved substantially since that period of time. You'll all understand that here in Washington, D.C., it's a very, very complex arena. There are a lot of moving parts. That's why I define my job as I owe you all my best effort and my best judgment. And so I work continually for the full repeal of Obamacare. I wanted to and still want to replace it with many components. Just today, we passed the repeal of McCarran-Ferguson under a bill written by Paul Gosar of Arizona that allows for selling insurance across state lines. That's been something that I have pushed for a long time here in this Congress. And then next week, we'll be bringing up my bill, which is a medical malpractice bill that will be saving health malpractice premiums, mostly doctors and practitioners premiums by $50 billion over a 10-year period of time. We're doing these pieces to sell insurance across state lines, tort reform, as I've described. They have to pass the Senate with 60 votes. But the reconciliation package, which is going from the floor of the House, I believe tomorrow, is one that can pass the Senate with 51 votes. And those 51 votes in the Senate are hard enough to come by. But the reason for that is reconciliation can only address the two topics that were done by reconciliation, which are either it has to address health or address finances. So there are a number of things that we can't repeal under reconciliation in the Senate, and it's important that we send the repeal of everything we can over there under reconciliation. But I was not at all satisfied with the package that was put together by the House leadership. I thought it fell too short. And so I have leveraged as much as I can leverage on trying to get those changes. We're down to the end now where they're ready to roll the dice, bring it to the floor, come what may, pass or fail. So this morning, actually it was 11:30 this morning, I met in the White House with President Trump in the Oval Office with he and a number of other members of the House of Representatives, roughly 20 or so members of the House. And due to the positioning that I had in seating, I was the last one to speak. Well, I came in there with the things that I wanted in my list on my hand. And by the way, just so you notice here, I often write on my hand. Sarah Palin popularized that before a debate. But I put on my hand the things that I wanted to address and I wanted to negotiate in the White House today. I wanted to repeal 1302B of Obamacare. That's the essential health benefits. And those are the essential health benefits that drive up everybody's premium, that require that every insurance policy in America would cover, let's say, it would cover maternity, it would cover, I believe, contraceptives, and it would cover, let's say, pediatric care, which is always for our kids, but it's a mandate. It would cover drug rehab, physical rehab, ambulance services, prescription drugs. The list of these things goes on, but these essential health benefits, if it has to be part of every policy, drives the premium up so that we could never get the premiums down on our insurance. That's why they projected that the Ryan bill, as it was drafted and say this morning, would have lowered our premiums. They said double digits, that means 10%. Well, that's not enough when you've seen them go up the way you have. And so by the time we got around the room, the things that I want to get rid of, the mandates on our insurance, especially the essential health benefits. And then in addition to that, they had a 30% surcharge that would go on your premium if you let your insurance lapse. I don't think that Congress should be passing something like that, and I think it's wrong for us to do that. But it's in the bill, and they refuse to take it out no matter what the leverage. And then, of course, the full deductibility. I've always pushed for full deductibility of everybody's health insurance premiums. And that's not something that is part of Obamacare, but it's something that needs to be supplemented. And so of all of the pieces that were there that I wanted to change, a number of them are not part of Obamacare today. A number of them are not part of this bill either. Things I want to do proactively, the things I want to stop. But in the end, the center of it is this. If we can block the essential health benefits and strip them out of the bill, either in the House or in the Senate, then that opens the door up so selling insurance across state lines, should that pass with a 60-vote majority in the Senate, is a huge benefit then, because you could buy insurance from a state that didn't have all of those mandates, and your premiums would be lower. It opens the door up also for health savings accounts to have an actual impact, because if you have a health savings account and the dollars grow in that, let's just say they grow 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 and more in a health savings account, don't we want people to be able to negotiate for a catastrophic health insurance plan that can have a high copayment, maybe a $10,000, a $25,000, even a $50,000 deductible, so that they can take care of their more routine health care costs out of their health savings account and negotiate the premium down to what would be substantially cheaper if that policy didn't include all of those extras. That's how I bought insurance back in the day when I had the freedom to do that, and I want everybody to have the freedom to do that. And so when we came to those negotiations in the Oval Office today, I made this point emphatically. I said, President Trump, no one has pushed harder for the full repeal of Obamacare than I have. I have a long record of that. I didn't add this in, but I have used the word Obamacare in the congressional record more than anybody else, and pushed harder for its repeal. My repeal legislation has passed the House multiple times, and it's done so in every Congress since Obamacare was passed, except this one. But they're not going to bring up my repeal of Obamacare. They don't believe they can get the votes to get it passed in the Senate, and so we're working with the reconciliation and the reality. Well, out of that reality, there's a firm commitment from the majority leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, that he will offer a manager's amendment to strike out the mandates that are written into Obamacare. These mandates that are the most egregious component of what's left in the House bill. And I have a full and firm commitment with many witnesses from President Trump that he will use his political leverage to again go public and work hard to get the Mitch McConnell amendment passed, which just takes a simple majority in the Senate, and it would comply with the reconciliation package. So I expect everyone in this agreement to keep their word. I'll keep mine. And I expect and have confidence that the President will use his leverage and publicly oppose the essential health care benefits that are written into Obamacare, and to support the McConnell amendment that will come to strip this out in a simple majority, and it would be in order in the Senate. So my calculation is this, and I say to you all again, I owe you my best effort and my best judgment. My calculation is this, that we pass out of off the floor of the House this package that's been in front of America and been discussed over the last week or so. And when it goes over to the Senate, I'm confident that Mitch McConnell will keep his word and offer the amendment to strip out the essential health benefits. I'm confident that the President will use his bully pulpit to make sure that we get the 51 votes necessary. And I'm confident that Vice President Mike Pence will come in and cast the deciding vote if he has to on that amendment that Mitch McConnell will bring. But in the end, we have the best chance to get a package that is the closest thing to the full repeal that we can get within this political environment. And I'm well aware that there are many Republicans that are not as dedicated to the full repeal as I am. They are part of this process. Their votes and their voices matter too. But if we're successful in this endeavor, then I expect we'll come back, and I will have to remind people this was the decision made here on this day. But the pieces that are left of Obamacare, should my provisions pass the way I describe them, are significantly less. And it's this, that I don't get the full deductibility that I wanted, but that was never part of Obamacare. Then part of this deal is not to strip out the 30% surcharge, but that's also not part of Obamacare. This is the biggest pieces of Obamacare that can be taken out in additional negotiations. It's the most essential point. And if we can eliminate those mandates, the mandates on Obamacare, which I expect we have an even chance of doing, or maybe a little better than even chance of doing, if we eliminate them, that opens up the door for your health savings account to have a full utility, for selling insurance across state lines to have its full effect. And if we fail to do this, then, and they're able to put the votes together without this agreement, then the essential health benefits will be in there forever, and your HSA won't do what it's supposed to do, and you will not be able to, and they will have effectively, and I said this to the president, the way it's currently written, it affected the current bill that's before this House effectively outlaws catastrophic insurance, and it significantly minimizes the effects of a health savings account and any effects we might have from selling insurance across state lines. That's the decision, that's the calculus. So I plan to vote yes on this bill. I'll keep my word. I have every expectation and confidence the president will keep his word, and he will vigorously work to undo the essential health benefits component of this. And I have every confidence that Leader Mitch McConnell will do the same, and we'll be working, of course, with Vice President Pence, who nobody ever wonders if he's going to keep his word. And let's see how this works going forward. But as I said, I owe my best effort and my best judgment. This is a decision that I've made on the behalf of Iowans and Americans, and I will be making sure, as to the extent that I can, this comes out with a positive result. Thanks for paying attention here and listening to this description. And this is essentially in real time. I'll wash my hand and you'll know later on, but I'm not going to wash my hands of this. I know I own it, and we're going to have a positive result. I'll do my best to see to it that we get that positive result. Thank you.